man. You cannot save the world. You cannot fix the country if you're a weak ass bitch. So for that reason, you need to understand how to achieve your goals. So a thing that I wanted to talk about was the idea of course correcting. It is ridiculously important that you are able to just course correct because something that I have personally struggled with in the past. Because I'm a very intelligent guy. I'm a smart ass nigga, y'all. I'm a smart ass nigga. That's why you guys listen to me. That's why you guys are watching me. I'm a smart ass nigga. So the downfall with being an intelligent individual is that you tend to start trying to make perfect moves when it comes to you achieving your goals or becoming successful. You're like, oh, there's the downside here. So is there a better move? Is there a better move? Like you constantly think, is there a better move that I can make instead of making this move that feels kind of risky? But the problem with that is you end up never moving. And that's an issue because if you want to get somewhere, you have to move. You have to eventually take a risk. So you have to get very comfortable with being willing to course correct, meaning you have to get a lot more comfortable with looking stupid, looking dumb, making the mistake, embarrassing yourself in front of 1,000 people. Because if you're willing to embarrass yourself in front of 1,000 people, you can succeed in front of millions, right? Because it's by taking risks that you gain brand new opportunities, that you gain things, right? But the thing is, if you're in this position where you're trying to make your moves way too perfect, if you're trying to perfectly plan out your success, you end up never fucking getting there, right? You must act with speed. You must be able to act with speed. And with that speed, you just have to learn to do what now? Course correct. And what I mean by course correct is when you make a mistake, you have to be willing to learn from that mistake as soon as possible to make a better move. And then when you make the next move and you make a mistake, you got to course correct again and course correct again, right? That's how improvement actually works. It's all about course correcting. So instead of being in your fucking head all day overthinking and being like, nah, I got to move this way, but what if this happens? What if that happens? It's like you don't have time to think like that. If the thing happens, okay, fix the problem and then move forward. If this bad thing happens, okay, fix the problem and then move forward. If this bad thing happens, okay, fix the problem and move forward. And that's how you move towards your success as fast as possible. Because eventually you make all the mistakes. Improvement, development, and gaining skills and capabilities just means you make all the mistakes. So now all that's left is for you to make the right moves. But you only knew or you only learn what the right moves are by making the mistakes or learning from the mistakes of others, which you guys 100% should be doing. And a way that you can do that is by listening to the guys who've already achieved the level of success you want to achieve, because you can learn from their mistakes. And even if you're making your own mistakes, you're already way ahead of the curve because you're learning from someone who's already won. So you can reach their level faster than they did because they didn't have themselves to learn from, understand? So you have to get very comfortable with just course correcting. Do not try to make perfect choices. Do not try to make perfect decisions. Because you'll never make a perfect choice. You'll never be able to make perfect decisions. Every decision has risks to it because there's things that are outside of your control in this life. As long as there's things that are outside of your control, there's risk to every single decision that you make. So you have to get very comfortable with taking risks and being willing to adapt to whatever the outcome is. You have to be like, okay, I want to make this move. There's their risk here. I could lose money here. I could lose some reputation here. I can embarrass myself here, right? But if things go right, then I gain all this stuff over here. So you have to be in this position where if I do end up embarrassing myself, if I do end up making this mistake, if I do end up losing this money, I'll be like, well, okay, I learned, adapt, move forward. But you cannot stay in your head. Do not stay in your head. Do not sit here and try to overthink and try to make perfect decisions. You only overthink because you're trying to make perfect choices. And you'll stop overthinking when you stop trying to make perfect choices and you just move, just go, just move, go. You fuck up, learn, move. You fuck up, learn, move. Go, 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 go. And that's how you get to your success as fast as possible. You make all the mistakes. All that's left is to make the right moves that you need to make to eventually achieve your goals. So yeah, that's just been something that's so massive for me in my life. Like I said, like when you're smart and aware and you think about things, it's harder for you because you're like you can see risk. Because this is why you'll see a lot of retards who are very successful, a lot of dumbass niggas. There's so many smart guys out there. You're more than likely one of them if you're watching me, who's seeing other guys that are more successful than you. You're like, this nigga's a flaming retard, dumbass nigga, ass nigga is more successful than you. You're like, what the fuck's going on? How is he a winner? Well, it's because he's not assessing risk as much as you are. He's just going. He just, I want thing and starts moving and doesn't give a fuck about getting embarrassed. He doesn't care about the risk. He doesn't care about the downside. He just goes. And because he just goes, he eventually wins because he's not concerned or considering other things. When you're intelligent, naturally, you're concerned about other things. You're aware of other things. You're assessing other things. You're assessing risk. You're not just doing whatever you feel like doing. You have impulse control. You're not just going to make a move just because you feel like it. You're like, okay, I got to understand what's going on before I make this decision. But stupid niggas, retarded niggas are not like that. They just fucking move. They don't give a fuck. And in some ways, you have to gain that trait for yourself. You got to become a little bit retarded. I know that sounds crazy, but you actually need to be a little bit more stupid. Like, you need to be a little bit more stupid. You need to make the awkward move every now and then. You need to make the weird ass risk every single now and then. This doesn't mean you can't think. I'm just saying you have to be willing to make the awkward decision every now and then and be willing to adapt to whatever happens. If it goes wrong, fine. You just adapt and move. Hence the whole course correcting thing I just went over for the past several minutes now. Like, you just have to be willing to course correct, but understand that if you're not constantly willing to take risks, you're not going to succeed as much as somebody who's a retard who is constantly willing to take risks and doesn't give a fuck about anything, isn't aware. This doesn't mean that retards don't fail all the fucking time. Of course they do, but they're willing to just go until they win and not think about risk at all. You know? So I just don't want you guys to be intelligent and not as successful as these other guys that are retards, because when retards are in power, retarded shit happens for everybody else. You know, I want smart people in power, and the only way you can be in power and be smart at the same time is if you're willing to take risk. Understand? So that's that there.